Yeah! This was the drinking wall. It takes me back to when I was 19 and the band was first starting.
And we revisit the past.
We're coming up on the Continental.
Sometimes I think people came to see if we were going to make it through the show.
Plus, we'll have a front row seat as the Goos hit the stage.
My eyes tear up there. It's like I look down and I see people that I've known since I was a little kid sitting right there.
On guitar and vocals, my friends, it's John Brunsack and we're the Goo Goo.
We've been out on tour since August 14th of 1998.
Long time.
Very long time. Yeah, we're going home to Buffalo. It's gonna be fun. We sold out 3 shows at this really beautiful theater in Buffalo, Shays.
And I think a lot of the people that we see, the first time we're going to see them, you know, in an awfully long time, is probably going to be from the stage, which is going to be pretty weird.
I'm a little nervous to see our friends back home in Buffalo. We've played all over the world, but we have not played in Buffalo yet on this whole tour. Oh, I gotta take you guys on the ride through Buffalo. I'm gonna show you my favorite highlights of Buffalo. Yeah! Cool. I went out with a girl that lived down here. Her father hated me. See all those broken windows? I did that. We're coming up on the neighborhood that I mostly hung out in. Right here, this church right here, I would clean the rectory for the priests.
They painted up your secrets with the lies they told to you.
This parking lot was where my school was, and this was the playground that everybody played in.
And I wonder where these dreams go when the world gets in your way.
And this is the house that I grew up in. That's the house. And the old man put those shutters on the house.
And the least they ever gave you was the most you ever knew. And I wonder where these dreams go when the world gets in your way. What's the point in all this screaming? No one's listening anyway.
I've known Johnny for a really long time. Johnny, you know, was a little kid, you know, I mean, he was just the kid brother of my sister-in-law. Johnny came from the east side of Buffalo. His parents and his grandmother all died within like 2 years, and all of a sudden he was being cared for by his siblings, which was, you know, an enormous thing for them as well as for him.
John was always into rhythm and music, and first when he was a little boy, he had he would run through the house and use a frying pan. From the frying pan to the tennis racket. He would take the tennis racket and wrap a string on either end and put it through the tennis racket and run around playing like that with these brush cuts and crazy red blazers he'd wear. And he was a nice kid, though. He was a real nice kid. He wasn't one of the regular get-together with the boys and play football kind of kid. Yeah. He had his own scene going on, and he suffered some for it via the neighborhood and via his sisters. Yeah. And then the real musical stuff started happening.
When I was a kid, I always had to play a musical instrument because my parents were really into that. So I had to play the accordion, and then I had gotten picked on enough in my neighborhood for doing that, so I stopped that and started playing the drums. My mother put a quick end to that, and she got me a guitar, 35 bucks, this K guitar she got me at Edwin's music store. And then I started spending my guitar lesson money on beer. And I was like, well, I had to learn enough guitar to fake out my old man, so I got my $5 every week. So I learned a few chords, and
off you went.
And there we went.
My name is Bob Takak, and I'm Robbie Takak's father.
And I'm Kathy Dietzel Takak, Robbie's mother.
She loves that diesel.
Yeah, I sort of grew up in this sort of like Edward Scissorhands, Poltergeist-esque sort of neighborhood, you know, very safe.
He was like a performer.
Actually, he spent a few years trying to get himself ready to become a DJ, which he was here in Buffalo. But he used to have a little booth down underneath our stairwell, set up as a radio station.
And I'd have a couple of turntables, and my friends would be outside, and I'd be playing records and back selling records for them, you know, rocking out in the basement. Oh, my poor mother. I guess everybody's got to do something as a kid, right? I couldn't hit a baseball. I wasn't that great in school, really, so that pretty much left trying to be Kiss. I think my grandma actually gave me my first guitar when I was a kid. I used to tune the guitar around to kind of sounding like a chord of sorts, I guess, and kind of play with my one finger, which led me to a career on the bass.
My name is Tom Jackson. I was Rob's phys ed teacher.
Yeah, I hated gym, man. I just hated it. You know, they pick for teams, man. I was like one of those three that were left.
Showing up was his best area.
Besides that, I was a dodgeball target, pretty much. The school gym served one purpose as far as I was concerned. One time a year, I could get my band in there to do the school dance, you know.
I'm Sid Krupkin, and I was Johnny Resnick's English teacher at McKinley High School. He sat at the very back of the room, and I would go back there, and I would see that he was writing poetry. And I indicated that if he wanted to hand that poetry in to get some extra credit, that it might be to his advantage, because the fact is he really wasn't passing the course in a conventional way.
Every year at my high school, I had a show called the Rock Ensemble, and you got to play in it. And that was like actually probably the first place I ever played live. So of course everybody in my high school hated it and started booing and yelling and stuff, you know, it was our own song. The singer got scared, ran away. We did an instrumental. It was a mess. You know, every teenage boy's got to find his riff so he can meet girls, you know? So, you know. So if you're not a big jock, you got to play a guitar or something. I don't know.
John and I met in 1985 or something like that. He was playing in a band with my cousin Paul. They were called the Beaumonts. He had me come play rhythm guitar with him. I think he was planning on bowing out at some point and having me take over playing bass. And it was actually weird because nobody told John. And John showed up for band practice one day, and I was down playing guitar with his band, you know. I think he thought I was like trying to like take his place or something.
Baby's black balloon makes him fly. Almost fell into that hole in your life.
I mean, at this point, it's pretty obvious to me there was some sort of destiny involved, you know, when we met. You know, I mean, we bonded just so quickly, you know. I think the thing that we knew and the thing that we agreed upon pretty early on was that we were just going to make sure that it was us. That's a bond that we really tried to keep since then. You know, it's like even when I hate his guts, I love him, you know?
This is so cool down here. We used to come down here when the band first started. We would go hang out in these places, really strange places. This was the drinking wall. You know, Robbie and me would come here and we would hang out and chill out, you know? It's a beautiful day. I heard everybody sing. Like, it's intense. This is an intense spot. I think it's beautiful in a weird way. It takes me back to when I was 19 and the band was first starting, you know, and it's amazing because most of the things that me and Robbie dreamed about came true, you know? And a few of the nightmares too, but, you know. Come on.
Coming up on the road home, Johnny and Robbie relived their first shows.
We're coming up on the Continental, man.
That was pretty much the only place for us to play.
And later, the years of struggling in Buffalo eventually pay off.
Iris became such a big song that you said, oh my God, this actually worked.
And I don't want the world to see me.
We are in Buffalo at the corner of Franklin and North Streets. And at the end of this parking lot is the place that I worked for, I bet you 15 years now. So come on in. Wow! This is B. This is where we've done demos for every single record we've ever done. Teeny little 8-track room. It's got 16 and stuff now. And that's got an even smaller room that we used to set the whole band up in. We come up here and just, God, spend as much time as we possibly could just hanging out and recording and learning. We're recording 2 months after we were together, so now it's sort of weird though, just because I used to spend so much time in here. It's sort of like coming back to like your, like an old apartment or something like that, that somebody else lives in. And same couch, man. What has the things that have happened on that couch? We'd have to do everything at night, so it would be like midnight to 8, until the suits came in.
We're coming up on the Continental. I used to work in the Continental. I worked in the Continental for like 3 years. I was a bar back. Bud Burke was really great to me. I'd go out on tour, I'd come back, I'd be like, Bud, I need a job. He'd give me a job. It was really, really cool to me.
It was funny when we first started playing there, we'd play like Thursday nights for pretty much for free. That was pretty much the only place for us to play.
Because in Buffalo at that time, if you weren't in a hair metal band that played covers, I mean, I had some hair, but, we weren't a metal band. Yeah, I was really hairy. It's just a big, I've had so many bad hair days in public. It's just, I'll never live it down.
The shows back then were so exciting, I mean, it was a room full of, 275 people who were just like out of their minds. Sometimes I think people came to see if we were going to make it through the show. They were just like sort of blown away by the whole, together for about 6 months before we actually put out our first record on a little indie label. And so we had a record out there so we could get gigs. We'd play Pittsburgh, Rhode Island, Boston. We were Thursday night for a case of beer band. I mean, even after we had our first record out.
I'm Artie Quitchoff. I was the Goo Goo Dolls' first manager, and now, 15 years later, the promoter for the next 3 nights here in Buffalo.
I don't think there would be this band if it weren't for Artie. Artie was our manager for the first 5 years of this group, and it was like babysitting.
Artie took such good care of us when this band first started. I mean, he helped us pay our rent always when we had no money. He was like the dad on those first few tours.
If we had some trouble, he always had a credit card that he never told us about that he kept in his sneaker, that kind of thing, him being like that was one of the reasons why we were able to make it.
Hi, my name is Dan Perbucky, and I was the band's first roadie way back when they first started out.
Oh, yeah, oh my God, oh, Dan the man, holy cow, yeah, holy cow. Yeah, Dan was like was one of our patron saints.
First tour they did was called the Cram the Van Tour.
In '88, we had nothing. We had no label support, but had to get out on the road, had to get out of Buffalo to try and succeed. Dan was a friend of ours who always helped us, and Dan had a new van.
Dan gave us his van, like, just said, here. We took it for like 3 months, just left. Brand new. That's nuts.
We used to take weekend road trips to New York City, Boston, Providence, do the show and sleep in the van. If we were lucky and I had my credit card with me, I'd get a hotel room and, we'd fit all the guys into, one bed.
be smiling, crying, upwards to my past.
They had put out the Superstar Car Wash record, which was supposed to be the big record. They were thinking, okay, great, this may propel us enough to make it a little less week by week. And it didn't happen, it fell apart. It looked like at that point the band was really going to kind of call it a day.
They had, like, no anything. Robbie used to clean bathrooms in one of the department stores and deliver pizzas.
It's definitely been a struggle for them. If they didn't make up their minds to go through with it, they would have fallen off track long, long time ago.
Maybe for a while, and I won't tell no one your name. I won't tell them your name.
I mean, even after the success of Name, they still always took that attitude, okay, this actually worked, but the reality is, in 3 months, it's done.
It's 106.7 KROQ and the Goo Goo Dolls.
How much do you love the Goo Goo Dolls?
I'm their biggest fan ever.
I can't say really until, you know, maybe after Iris, till Iris became such a big song that you said, oh my God, this actually worked.
And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand. When everything's made to be broken, I just want you to know who I am.
I get terrified sometimes to come back, you know, because it's like, I don't really care what anybody, anyplace else thinks of me or my band. But here it's different, you know? Here it's different.
Next on the road home, Buffalo's big event. The Goo Goo Dolls give a powerful performance for their hometown.
Yeah, come on, don't you?
All right, yeah. All right, so we've been running around town seeing all the weird places that I used to hang out and stuff, and now we're gonna go into Shays. We're gonna check it out. This is really cool. What's up?
Not much.
Good. Thanks, Dan. Here's the theater. It's how beautiful. I mean, like, what a palace. All the big shows came here. It's incredible.
This is Grandma Goo right here. It's my mom and my dad, and this is Grandma. We're here for the big rock show.
And here it is. There's the stage. Craziness. All right, I gotta go sound check, guys. Thanks a lot.
My name is Anthony Violanti. I'm the music critic of the Buffalo News, and I've covered the Goo Goo Dolls since early in their career in the early 90s.
All right, ready? We're gonna go into Just the Way You Are, just like the show, okay?
First time I saw them was in a little record shop, and you know, I could never predict they'd be this big.
How's lunch?
Go ahead, Pete.
It is so good to be here with you guys tonight.
But I won't lie to you, my eyes tear up there. I can't help it, man. It's like I look down and I see people that I've known since I was a little kid. Little kid, you know, sitting right there.
Give you anything to feel it coming. Do you wake up on your own? Wonder where you are and live with all your faults. You said, yeah, come on, don't you?
I think when the two of us stand up at the front of the stage in Buffalo, it's a lot different than when we stand up at the front of the stage somewhere else, because You know, I think everybody in this town is really proud, you know, and you can feel that. You can feel that electricity, you know. It feels great, man. You look around, you see faces, you know, they're 50 years old and they're 5 years old, and they're equally as excited. Just it goes right through your skin, you know. It's amazing.
See, the thing is, I am so proud that I'm from here. You know, where I grew up and the places that I hung out, that's the bricks and the mortar and all that I'm made out of, and I'm proud of that. I'm really, really proud of that. Buffalo just has this way of sucking you into it, and you never want to leave.
And that concludes our tour. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I know I did.